joining up and following the Open College course. But for now, from Fenella, Carol and myself, goodbye. And let's leave you by hearing what people involved in industry think about the study of electronics.
It's certainly very rewarding to study electronics at whatever level.
Electronics is a thing of the future, isn't it?
Once you've done training, you feel more confident, you know what you're doing, and it's what you need.
If you stick your head in the sand and sort of say, no, I'll do it my way, you'll just get left behind. You've got to go with the future.
The modern vacuum cleaner is a wonderful contraption. It's really quite magical the way it makes dirt vanish from completely inaccessible places. And before it was invented, houses were just much, much dirtier places, more like my workshop. Though even my workshop isn't usually quite as dirty as this. It may be a myth that vacuum cleaners are labour-saving devices. It's said that people spend just as long cleaning their houses today as they did 100 years ago. But these machines certainly have made houses cleaner. Well, in this programme, I hope to look at exactly how vacuum cleaners work and how they evolved. Without vacuum cleaners, the only way to clean carpets and upholstery was to take them outside and beat them. An activity that was traditionally performed just once a year, the spring clean. There was considerable incentive to invent a cleaning machine, particularly because Victorian houses were so cluttered and full of soft furnishings. Numerous patents for sweeping and beating machines were taken out from the 1850s onwards, and some of these did include primitive suction devices. But the practical vacuum cleaner had to wait for the arrival of reasonably small and efficient power sources. By 1900, the first internal combustion engines had appeared, and amongst other things, they were used to power compressors to generate compressed air. Several Edwardians experimented cleaning carpets and upholstery with compressed air, but the problem was that the dust just went everywhere. And then settled back down exactly where it had come from. A demonstration of this rather inadequate cleaning system on cleaning railway carriages in St Pancras Station in 1901 was witnessed by an engineer called Herbert Cecil Booth. Booth was the civil engineer who designed bridges and the enormous big wheels popular at the turn of the century. This one was put up in Blackpool in 1896. It seemed obvious to Booth that sucking the dirt into a container through a filter would be a more sensible idea. And his very first experiment, holding a hanky over a sofa and sucking hard through it, left the hanky filthy and proved the principle to himself. His first machine was simply a cloth bag to collect the dirt and a suction pump. It worked well, but it was very large, so it had to be parked outside customers' houses. It became known as the Noisy Serpent, and he was frequently sued for frightening passing horses.
The success of Booth's machine was largely due to the coronation of Edward VII in 1902. In all the preparations, it hadn't been noticed until the last minute that the carpets under the throne in Westminster Abbey were filthy. Booth's machine was the only effective way of cleaning the carpet without removing it. The king later heard of this and ordered a demonstration at Buckingham Palace, buying 2 machines.
Your apparatus is frightfully impressive.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Oh.
Booth added clear inspection tubes so people could watch the dirt being sucked in, and the machines became prime attractions at fashionable soirees. With royal patronage, the success of the machine was assured.
A most marvellous modern invention.
Booth's machine caught the public imagination, but was much too large and cumbersome for most homes. So various other manufacturers started introducing much smaller, hand-powered machines. This one's the Sweeper Vac, made in San Francisco. The British Queen. Doesn't seem to be doing very much, this one. A bit difficult to use, too. The Star. This one feels more comfortable. Just swept up a feather. And what's this one called? The Reeves Pneumatic Broom. Doesn't sweep very much up at a time. Nearly got that bit of dirt. No. This is the Daisy number 2. Nice action, nice crank and bellows, but I don't actually think it's getting anything off the carpet. And this one is the Baby Daisy. Oh, it's much bigger than the Daisy number 2. Slightly difficult coordinating with both the actions at once. Doesn't seem to be doing too well either.
Meanwhile, in America, a caretaker called Spangler had patented a portable vacuum cleaner powered by an electric motor. He sold the patent to a harness maker called Hoover, who was worried that his trade was falling as more people changed from riding horses to driving cars. Hoover was very successful and started producing machines in other countries, including Britain.
In the carpet, excavating through the pile, work the pit gang, call the grip gang, digging deeper all the while.
Oh my carpet, oh my carpet, oh my carpet, don't forget, with a Hoover,
yes the Hoover,
we will beat the blighters yet.
Oh my carpet, oh my carpet, oh my carpet, don't forget, with a Hoover, yes the Hoover, we will beat the blighters yet.
The basic modern Hoover has really changed very little. We've cut part of this one away so you can see what's inside. This is the fan that does the sucking, and it makes the brushes and beater bars go round as well. The dirt is dislodged by the rotating brushes, sucked straight through the fan and into the dust bag at the back. The cylinder type of vacuum cleaner is slightly different. It's actually more like Booth's original machine. I'll take the bottom off this one. In this sort, the dust comes straight into the dust bag, and the air passes straight through the paper that acts as a filter and goes through the fan and finally out the grill on the top of the machine. So the positions of the fan and the dust bag are reversed. And because it's only clean air that's passing through the fan, the shape of the vanes can be much more intricate. So this sort usually has a much stronger sort of sucking power. And the bin type and the more modern flattened cylinder type are just the same as this, though the layout leaves slightly more room for bigger dust bags. The upright vacuum cleaner with a rigid dust box is a sort of hybrid. We've cut one in half so you can see what's inside. It has rotating brushes, just like a Hoover, but inside the air and the dirt come straight up the back and into the dust bag. So its layout in some ways is more like the cylinder vacuum cleaner, because it's only clean air that comes out the bottom of the dust bag and goes through the enclosed fan and then finally comes out the back of the machine. Well, there are advantages and disadvantages of all these different types of vacuum cleaner, and a recent Which survey found that in overall performance there's really very little to choose between them all.
By the 1920s, many companies were producing electric vacuum cleaners. Booth himself had started making them under the trade name Goblin. One of his employees was a man called Bill Sutton.
I joined Goblin in 1929, although I had a relative with the company many years before, so I knew quite a bit about the vacuum cleaner business as a youngster. This model was produced in 1908 and appeared at the first Iowa Home Exhibition. Would you like to do a bit of cleaning if I operate it?
Oh, I see, it's a two-person machine.
Yes, oh yes. Yeah. If I turn this handle, you do the cleaning.
Oh, it's getting something up.
In fact, they used to, at the exhibition, have to go back to the factory and make another one if it's an old one.
Although better than most hand-powered vacuum cleaners, it was still rather inconvenient, so Booth started developing his own electric models.
As you'll see, it's got the old dolly switch and some very old-fashioned flexing. They wouldn't pass it with the approvals board today.
Where does the dust go?
Well, it actually goes in here.
Oh, I see, yes.
And you undo this to get at the dirt to empty the machine. This machine was first produced in 1930. Rather a unique machine in that it gives you the upright situation for easy cleaning. It's sold for £5.19 and sixpence at that time. But the interesting thing is that for dusting, all you need to do is undo the dust bag from this position here and put your arm through the dust bag and do your dusting. We did have some other tools for it, for dusting, but of course that's another story. This particular model, the Goblin Ace, is 210 volts, whereas today the standard voltage is 240. In the 30s, Bristol, there were 2 voltages. In London, they went down as far as 100 volts in certain cases.
And were there electricity shops where you could sell these things?
Oh no, the electrical shops weren't in existence then. There were only a cycle shop who did the odd electrical product. The industry had to employ vast numbers of direct selling people. In fact, Goblin had 2,500 at peak of people knocking doors.
You've heard of the radio? You have now got electricity, but this is what you haven't got, the vacuum cleaner. Look, it is...
Well, I don't know.
Yes, no, I'll just take this wire, plug it into your sockets like that, and we will have a demonstration. If you would care to stand up a minute, madam. See? Now then, did you know that in that chair is hidden dirt? Every part of your house has got hidden dirt. Look, it's all in there now, madam. Look, this is what you were sitting on.
Dust!
The first thing a stuntman learns, belief is everything.
I've never been afraid of heights, ever. I guess I have a pretty healthy fear of death.
You conquer fear through knowledge. 1 centimeter this way or that way, and it's 400 miles down. I've got to know this car is going to deliver.
Control! I'm a control freak!
When I ask it to do something, it responds. I think my stunts are crazy.
You're not taking the light bulbs.
Listen, every bit helps. I'll soon be organising a telethon to cover our monthly bills.
Well, console yourself with the money we'll save with that Abbey National, what's it, home movers deal.
I should think so, too. With the amount of money they've had out of me over the years, you could buy enough of these to give Blackpool Town an inferiority complex.
Skinflint.
OK, Gov, we're ready to go.
Now, you will give the removal men a tip.
Yes. Never put a light bulb in your back pocket.
Abbey National, the habit of a lifetime.
Created by Laboratoire Garnier, Paris. Ombre Solaire High Protection Range. Hypoallergenic. Protection against UVB protects against sun burning. Protection against UVA protects against sun aging. It's water resistant and it actively moisturizes your skin. Ombre Solaire High Protection